That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Maybe I'm bleeding out. Maybe I'm lost with nowhere to go. And maybe my trees went down, but no one to hear it, nobody knows. And I should get out of here, but I gotta stay for those that I love, 'cause they are the only ones who know who she was, who knows who she was. And all I know is I need you here right now, and I don't want the pain to show. I let the music drown it out, and I try to forget it. I try to forget it. I try to forget it. God damn it, I did it. Try to forget it. I try to forget it. I try to forget it. God damn it, I did it. Come on. Intergalactically, I'm gonna find you wherever you are, but due to the gravity, I don't think my body's gonna get me too far. So really and actually, I hope I can heal and hope I can love. Am I the only one who knows who she was, who knows who she was? And all I know is I need you here right now, and I don't want the pain to show. I let the music drown it out, and I try to forget it. I try to forget it. I try to forget it. God damn it, I did it. I try to forget it. I try to forget it. I try to forget it. God damn it, I did it.
You're now tuned into the most censored night show in the realm, Beyond the Rise and Grind. And we are live. It is Friday, September 16th. The time is now 8:06 p.m. in the Central Standard Time. And I'm joined tonight, very special guest, special Rise and Grind. We are beyond the Rise and Grind. Jason Laufenberg of the Awake Souls YouTube. How are you doing, bro?
Hello, brother. Wow, my first Rise and Grind. I'm super excited.
I'm just having some technical issues. Yeah, so some of the content tonight's going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so interesting that YouTube thought it was fit to take it down while you were streaming, eh?
Sorry, my mic came unplugged. I got it back in. Yeah, no, not only did they take it down, but this was the first time that I ever actually had the video disappeared on me. It doesn't exist anymore. I didn't get a flag. I didn't get a violation for today's stream. They just took it down. It's gone. They just deleted it. How about that?
Never happened, right?
That's the first time I've ever seen that. When you see where I've shared the link on Twitter and Facebook, it actually just has a blank gray screen where the thumbnail used to be. You're not even allowed to see the thumbnail.
It's gross. Wow. I feel for you, brother. I mean, fighting for the truth, and then you have it taken down. It hurts. It's traumatizing. I don't know if anybody out there can relate to it. You would have had to have put up content and had it taken down, and you know that it's truthful content, and it's the reason why it's taken down. It's got a sting to it, but it doesn't deter us. I know that the only thing Ronnie was thinking about when that happened was, all right, this is getting monotonous. How do we fix this? Like, where are we going? Where are we going to stream next? How are we going to do it? So I think you came up with a plan today that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, the switch is going to be moving to live streaming to DLive, and I'll upload the videos to other platforms that won't censor me, right? Obviously, YouTube doesn't want me on their platform anymore, so I guess I'm just going to have to find another place. You know, as long as the people that want to get to hear the content get to hear it, you know, one of the saddest things that people don't really understand is when you actually put out content that's supposed to comfort and heal people, and people find it, and then the New World Order goes and rips it away from those people and takes it down. I mean, I don't think there's anything more maniacal or evil than that.
No, it's pretty evil. Well, I mean, there are maybe some more evil things. I mean, it does look like they're genociding a whole bunch of people. So,
yeah, not to take that away from the truth either, right? There is some serious genocide going on. So do you want to get into this? Let's get into this. I don't want to be streaming all night long. We worked hard all week. Continue.
The whole Rise and Grind format. I'm looking forward to this. Can't wait to get into it with you, brother.
Yeah, we're just going to go through it and talk about the stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to get all super emotional like I do in the morning because it's not the morning time, right? It's nighttime. I'm all chilled out and tired. Well, not tired. I'm fine. I got some coffee. If you don't have freshly ground coffee in your life, there's something wrong with you. You know, I have it in my cup right now. Jason, what are you drinking?
Coffee.
What kind? Ground. Thank
fresh
you.
Ground.
Thank you. You're the freshly ground coffee guy.
Mexican bean.
The good Mexican bean. Comes in a brown bag. I can't remember the name of it. What is it that we drink?
Rutamaya.
Rutamaya. There you go. We think it's Mexican. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. If you didn't see the morning show, then hey, you're in for a treat because we'll go over the content again. This first one says, be present. I know you're going to like this one, Jay. It says, slow down, breathe. You're not missing out. This is something I got to work on. There is still time for you to be all that you want to be. The idea that you're behind or running out of time is fear-based. Shift your focus so you may honor the present. Respect the present moment. Remain patient and create in this moment. The moment is what matters. What do you think of that one, Jay?
It's great advice. If you're not in the moment and you rush it, you may have squandered the moment. Where if you had taken your time and used the moment correctly, you would have gotten the results you were looking for, or something like that. So, the whole rushing thing takes a person. You're not doing all the proper checks and balances to make sure that the things that you're doing and saying are all in harmony with your goals. Right? It's actually possible in a rush to shoot yourself in the foot. So slow down, be present.
Yes, it's always great advice. You always talk about it, right? Being in the present is the moment of now is the only actual real moment. Right?
Yeah, it's a neat one to think about.
It's a twister.
I mean, we've covered it a few times, but if you realize that the things in the future haven't happened yet, so they're not real, all right? They haven't happened yet. And the things in the past, once you recognize that you can't go back to them and you can't do anything about them or change them, then all of a sudden you realize that the only moment that you have is now.
The now.
The current exact instantaneous second of now. So what is it that you're doing in the now? Just if you start correcting what you're doing and what you're saying in the now, you're going to have a better future, and you won't have the type of past that you regret and want to go back and change.
Right, exactly. You make the correct choice in the present moment rather than worrying about the past or worrying about the future, right? You have a higher odds of making the correct choice. This one says...
Yeah, we can still mess up.
Yeah, oh yeah, that happens all the time. This one says shine. If they want to leave, let them. If they push you away, go. You weren't put on this earth to convince anyone of your worth. You're here to learn, to create, flourish, live, to spread love and nourish. The ones deserving of you will always make you feel appreciated. Isn't that true? Not always, but most of the time.
Yeah, just be the shine. Be the shine. Like, paint the picture of you and then just put it out for the world to view. And the ones that appreciate it, you're going to want to get to know better and stay in close contact with. And the ones that don't, you're not going to put the effort into.
Exactly. Right. This one is really good. I truly believe in this. It says you become what you surround yourself with. Energies are absolutely contagious. So go on and choose carefully. Your environment will actually become you. Right? Manifesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just a good meme, right? And it's true.
Well, your environment. I mean, think about growing up. Think about the neighborhood that you lived in and the kids that you ended up being friends with because they were in your neighborhood. All right. So some parents will go through effort to make sure that they put the family into a neighborhood that's going to be conducive for the right type of family. Other families don't get that opportunity. And all of a sudden you grow up in an environment that isn't good for you, right? It tears you down. So once we have control over our environment, we get to choose who's in our bubble, who's in our inner circle and who's not. So yeah, it's a very important factor, that environment, because it sets the tone for everything. You've got a household where there's always yelling and screaming and, physical altercations and stuff like that. That type of environment, it's gonna breed it among the youth, and it's just super unhealthy. You want to have that environment where people smile and are generally happy and helpful, all that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, calm, steady, habitual, positive, and truthful. Some days suck. We all don't want to live here. We're all just like, but we get up, we get through it together. That's the most important thing. This next one here is really important. I know you like this one, Jay. This one says reincarnation is not a religion. It is a life changed by Yahawahashai. I want people to think about this. Reincarnation is a life changed by Yahawahashai. And then it goes on in John 3:3 to state, Yahawahashai replied, very, very truly, I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of Yahawahashai unless they are reborn again. First, through the water, and then through the spirit, which is your soul, which travels through the air just as the wind comes and goes. Right, Jay? What did you want to add to this one?
Yeah, well, the research that we've done has shown that it was the Vatican who was responsible for taking this teaching away and subverting it. So what they did is they tied it to the Eastern religions and then told the Christians, that's Eastern religion, that's bad. But we actually do see in the scriptures 100% proof of it. When Yahawahashai said, when the disciples asked, where's John or where's Elijah, Yahawahashai made them realize that they had missed him, that it was John the Baptizer. So there is 100% proof of reincarnation in the scriptures. It says that Elijah is going to be coming back again. So it is a biblical topic, but it was buried. So the Vatican, they're Kabbalists. They are 100% Kabbalists, and one of the most fundamental teachings of Kabbalism is reincarnation. So at the Vatican, those people, the tiny hats, they all believe in reincarnation. The tiny hats that are in Israel, believe in reincarnation. They all do, but then they'll tell the Christians that's false Eastern religion. Right?
Yeah,
So,
it's crypto Kabbalism, right? Or they pretend, or Vaticanism, Jesuits.
don't be scared off by the topic. Do your research into it, and you'll see that it is a real thing, and it's great news, because the way into the kingdom is we had to be reborn and reborn and reborn. And that was understood back in their day. That was what they were going around teaching people.
What's the good news? Even if you die, you'll live again.
The Vatican had to muck it all up, right?
Yeah, they messed it all up, flipped it upside down, and put it on something that they called satanic, right? That's what they did with a lot of the truth. And well said. I agree with all your points. We'll continue on. There's a couple more we'll get to before we have a song break. This one says, information is light. Light is information. The more you become informed, the more you actually alter your frequency. You are an electromagnetic creature, and everything you are, everything that you do, you broadcast to everyone else. I've been relating this to like we are in a pond filled with light, not water, and everything that you do casts outwards like ripples in a pond, and everybody feels it. And that's why it doesn't matter if there's 10 people or 2 people or 1 person watching. If it's just me or just Jason, and we're doing this, it's spiritual warfare, because it goes out and it's felt by the collective. What did you call it? The 100th monkey effect. Other people call it morphic resonance. The science is out. They've done actual tests, and it's true. If you teach a bunch of rats in one part of the earth how to do a certain maze, if you teach rats in another part of the earth to do that same maze, they're going to do it faster than the other rats took to do it. And this is the way that human species has gone on since the last 6,000 years. This is how we've learned. We've passed it on. Our ancestors are literally one within us. Every descendancy from you can be achieved through the proper meditation and through the understanding of who you are. You can connect with all of your past relatives into you in one. Jason, what do you say about that?
Yeah, well, the New Agers, have their lingo. And a lot of times they'll talk about raising their frequency or, stuff like this. And so it's just a way of describing what you're actually witnessing. So a person that is operating at a higher frequency just doesn't emit the negative vibes. So people are getting tuned to this person's always being negative. Like the negative vibes, you just get a sense, you get a feel for it. So this is just saying that frequency wise that we actually alter our frequency. And then all of a sudden, once you get at a certain higher frequency, you just don't vibe with the lower frequencies anymore. And you keep yourself separate. And at the same time, those lower frequencies, when they look at the person and they're around the person of the higher frequency, it goes right over their head. They're oblivious to it. So, there is an energetic shift as you become more and more righteous. As you let go of lies and cheating and stealing and harming and those types of things, as those things disappear, your frequency just goes up. It's like
brighter, stronger, more loving, more thankful, more gratitude, more patience. But yet we still stumble, we still fall, right? Still, there's always tests. Well said again. This one says, my growth came when I actually realized that I do not have to experience life the way I have been told to. When I realized that everything that I was told was able to be questioned. And I did. I questioned everything and held fast to what was true. Jason, what say you?
Yeah, the propaganda is so intense. We're told what the American dream is. We're told that it's the house with the white picket fence and the boat and the summer cottage and these types of things. That's all being forced down our throat. This meme is great that it just gives you the opportunity to live your life the way you want to, not the way somebody told you it ought to be lived. All right.
Yes.
So pick the things that satisfy you. If it's music, if it's, painting, if it's building, if it's whatever it is, find something that is, and even relationships and all that. Don't go by what the movies are showing. Don't go by what the TV shows are showing. You be the master of your own life, of your own relationships, all that stuff. You can cut your own trail. It's up to you.
So yeah, I'm having technical issues. I'm gonna need to get new equipment at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm back. Let me keep going. Are you done? Were you still talking? Did
Yeah.
I cut you off?
No.
I had lost my sound for a second. This one says it will all fall into place, so just be patient. But I don't know. There's something about the colors, and I don't know. I grew up in Ontario, Canada, not too far from you, Jay. We're both on the Canadian Shield. I showed you that. But I've always had a super special connection with Native American culture. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was born here on this land, and I do believe that the Native Americans were here before the British, right? And I don't know. It's just something so peaceful and beautiful. The feathers, this whole meme, it vibrates to me. I don't know about you. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, these types of earthy hippies, like, I'm not talking the hippies that don't wash their hair and don't stay, clean and stuff, but the ones like this that are all feathered up and in the, colors and looking individual, just not being the cookie cutter person. I've always thought those people were great and interesting. I enjoy getting to know
them. In any style, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this mic. Oh, I'm just having such a day today. Let's move on to this next one. We're going to get into... can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll just continue like this until the sound break. This one says, see to it that no one takes you captive through philosophy and empty deceptions, according to the traditions of men, according to the elementary principles of the world, rather than according to Christ. This is basically saying make sure you check everything out. Test everything out in your life to see if it's true or false. Right, Jay? Like, really?
Yeah. I mean, look at personal experience, the empty philosophy, the deception. I mean, look at flat Earth. Look at dinosaurs and evolution. Look at all these big topics where, I mean, books upon books upon books upon movies upon lectures and TED Talks and you name it have all been dedicated to these deceptions. And it just takes that one book, the Holy Scriptures, to throw all those out.
Debunks it all, right?
Yeah.
Through research. That's the most important thing. This one's really important because it ties into the whole reincarnation thing. It says, for the Father loves the Son and shows him all things that he himself does, and he will show him even greater works than these, that you may marvel. For as the Father raises the dead and gives life to them, even so the Son gives life to whom he will. So right off the bat here, what is this? When we die, the scripture says here, the Father raises us and gives us life again. And he said that he then went on to appoint his Son to also give life to whom he will. So we had one character who was doing the reincarnation controls. And then we had a Son character who came in the Father's name, Yahawahashai and Yahawahashai. The Hawa is in both names. And he too has the keys to resurrection. How does anyone else not see that? How could a Christian tell me that I'm teaching some bad doctrine when it literally says, for as the Father raises the dead and gives life to them? What does this mean? That they're in purgatory, that they're in the city? No, they're here. And he's going to raise them from the dead and gives life to them. Is that perfectly simple to you, Jason?
Yeah, the Father was doing it, and he gave that authority to his Son. It's just, what is that, John 5, 20 and 21.
Right? John 5, 20, 21. Exactly. Go ahead and check it out if you don't believe us. This one's beautiful. It just says, I am the light of the world. That's John 8, 12. But it's just, I keep trying to tell people, you don't need to quote chapter and verse of the scriptures. It doesn't work. People get turned off by it. That's not the way that you share the truth. Now, some people just love. When I like about 10 years ago, I couldn't get enough people reading the scriptures. I still listen to it every single night, but I listen to extra canonical books and other stuff like that on my deep researching. But we should just outwardly be expressing love and healing ourselves, and what Jason was saying, follow the things that make us feel alive and passionate, and then we'll do those things so well that it's going to inspire other people to do the things that they love too. Right? That's how you show the way. This has become a tradition and doctrine of man to take the book around and hit people over the head with it. Christ never preached. He took them out into the mountains, to the side of the water at the lake shores, the side of the Sea of Galilee, and spoke to them there. Everything is so backwards. And, I wouldn't be surprised if the reason they take my content down was because I actually brought Christianity into it. I never do it. I barely ever do it. And the first few times I do, boom, look at that. Strike after strike. The stream this morning is gone. It just disappeared. It doesn't even exist in reality again. But it's because we're sharing the truth.
Yep.
Why are the other teams allowed to share all their content? Why is it not taken down? I'm not bitching. I don't care.
Because they're working for the New World Order.
But anytime someone says they don't care, they care. Now, I care about people that want to hear my content and Jason's content. I want them to be able to find it. That's all I care about. Okay, let's get into a song break, and we'll see you after this.
You are now listening to Beyond Rise and Grind, the only podcast not sponsored by the New World Order.
Forgot who I'm supposed to meet, wearing my go-to green. I tried to find a little bit of peace, but I got stuck in the middle. I can't wrap my heart around it, but I like the way it sounded. They said move to New York and be single. They said that it would be fun for a little, but I'm tired of chasing the feeling, tired of beginnings. They said start a new life like it's easy. They said that I will find myself in the city, but I'm tired of empty apartments. That part's the hardest. When you're in New York and single, am I doing this right? Introduced myself 1,000 times, used to romanticize. Here we go again. I try to check the boxes, going through the motions makes me nauseous, and I can't take it anymore. They said move to New York and be single. They said that it would be fun for a little, but I'm tired of chasing the feeling, tired of beginnings. They said start a new life like it's easy. They said that I will find myself in the city, but I'm tired of empty apartments. That part's the hardest. When you're in New York and single, when you're in New York and single, I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. They said move to New York and be single. They said that it would be fun for a little, but I'm tired of chasing the feeling, tired of beginnings. They said start a new life like it's easy. They said that I will find myself in the city, but I'm tired of empty apartments. That part's the hardest. When you're in New York.
You are now listening to Beyond Rise and Grind, the only podcast not sponsored by the New World Order.
And we are back. That was New York and Single by Brian. What a track that was. Jason, are you with us?
I love that song.
That was a good one, right? Well, you lived in New York in the Bronx, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you can feel it a little bit.
Bronx, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, sorry. I keep getting those two. Yeah, you were tough enough to live in the Bronx, Jesuit. Jehovah Witness kid.
Yeah.
But you probably did all right. You did all right. So here we go. Let's get into this. Shadow of Ezra. This could have been why I was taken down. Right here, we got breaking here off this tweet from the Limitless Channel, RJ080880. It says here, I think we should talk about this. It says, evacuate from these cities. 1, New York City. So you believe that these are actually in order of worst to, you might be okay if you're in Miami.
The reason why I say that is I've been seeing so much recently that makes me think that there's a big thing to happen to Chicago that when I saw the list, we've been looking at the whole wave thing for New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago. They're talking about it a bunch, and Philly too. So when I saw them in this order, I thought maybe this is, a list put in order of magnitude or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they're all going to be bad. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So what we got here is number 1, New York, 2, Los Angeles, 3, Chicago, Philadelphia, Washington, Houston, not far from here, Nashville, New Orleans, Charlotte, San Francisco, Detroit, Seattle, Atlanta, Las Vegas, Baltimore, Boston. Not last but not least, Miami. They're saying 17 cities, 1 event. So we're saying it could happen tomorrow. Jason's really excited. It could be the 17th. All this Q17 stuff since JFK. They've been broadcasting this nonsense, right?
Yeah, well, we saw that 9/11, when you add up those numbers, 9/11, 2022, it added to 17. So we were on high watch for 9/11, but sort of knew that if we went past that, the next high watch date would be the 17th. And there's a number of things that have caught my attention regarding the 17th, and one is that Trump is going to be doing a rally in Youngstown, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, Jurassic Liars has been saying that that Trump will get.
Yeah, that's right.
What does
shot out of the Space Needle?
Well, no,
that's in. Oh yeah, the wound to the head.
Yeah, the head wound.
Head wound.
And so he's in Ohio on the 17th. Now his next thing is on Friday, September 23rd, which is another date that we've been letting people know this. There's a ton of predictive programming for 922 and 923. So
yeah,
that's the 17th to the 23rd is a 7-day time period. And I don't know that the possibility does exist that could be the 7 days that the Antichrist is in a covenant with many, right?
It could, yeah. We don't know. We're watching. We're anticipating it all. Right. I got to make sure I don't start talking like Flat Man X all the time. Check this out. Everything's okay. Go back to sleep, sheeple. Look at this. Just 1 ounce of U.S. gold coin in 2020 got you $1,770 right here. All of this cash got you 1 ounce, 1 troy ounce, they say, or something like that, right? But back here on this side, it says 1 ounce of U.S. gold coin in 1933 cost you $20.67. We're okay. Don't worry. It says go back to sleep. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, scarcity. And so precious commodities, scarcity, they hyperinflate all these things. What we've heard is that they have so many diamonds that if they were to release them all to market, you could buy diamonds cheaper than you could roses.
That was Finkelstein. Finkelstein said, we got so many diamonds that if we try to sell them all, they'd be worth a dime each. Right? He said, they'd be as cheap as 12 of roses. That's what he said. Queen Elizabeth II will die, this guy said, on September 8th, 2022. Clean your eyes out. He said this back in February 2022.
What do you think of that?
This is the headline of the podcast. How did this person, Aid Maloxide, how did this person know? I'm going to go back. Oh, here's the trailer for his video. We should watch that, right? Oh, you saw it. It was ridiculous. This is what you were showing me?
Well, yeah. Well, it's the next. It's like the next iPad Go type thing.
No. So that's how they're rolling it out.
Orcananian. So Mork from Orc. O-R-K, Orc.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
wow.
this
I'm shocked.
This character on Twitter had the ability to pin September 8th for the Queen's death, and it was accurate. Now, people have said you could have put up a tweet for every single day of the year and left them on private and then just pick the winning tweet. But it's interesting because this character, this Twitter, it's a severe Q. Severe Q-tard. And
these are good.
yeah,
Dude,
so it's all
look at this
guy. Trump. It's all tied to.
Look at these. This one's bro. Dude, look at this account. ... Hold up. This guy's like, nah. Yo, am I 16? So, I mean, what you were saying quickly is that if somebody said that the Queen Elizabeth will die on every single day of the year and have them all private, and then when she died on the 8th, he made this one public, people are already saying he's debunked. What I see is the rollout, the externalization of the hierarchy, right? The revelation through the method. And they're just showing you. When you look at this guy's channel, it is weird. Oh, some people I know are followed. Okay. But this was the video that he was trying to promote. We're going to get into that here when we go to this next year tweet. Is this the same channel?
Yeah, this is all those tweets.
So he shared it, yeah. So this one here says, when they reveal themselves, do not accept the yellow devices they offer you. You will be mind controlled and a slave to their uprising. All the people with the yellow bracelets are already mind controlled sheeple slaves. This is just a symbol of their servitude, right? What do you think?
Well, I think that they might actually be trying to use tech to push it a little bit farther than just obedience, that they actually do have some sort of control over the individual. So,
wow.
I know there's a lot of suggestions that a combination of the injection along with different radio frequencies and maybe, some sort of transmitter type thing built into your phone, your wristband, things like this, that they're going to be able to gain control over people. So what the exact means of control is, whether or not they can literally get your body to go do something that you don't want it to do, or if maybe they have the ability to lead a person where they can give you a dopamine hit and they control you like a drug addict.
Yeah,
too, right.
Well,
where you'll do whatever you have to do to get your next hit. So.
Your endorphin hit. Yeah, well, there's multiple angles, okay? Honestly, the bracelets could be attached to your aura. It could be a spiritual thing. It could also be linked to something that they've able to hack the human mind through attaching something to the wrist or the hand or the forehead, right? There's multiple things that it could be. But this channel here was letting everybody know, don't take him. He was also the one that let everybody know that the Queen was going to die. He had it way far ahead. When they reveal themselves, again, he let you know, do not take the devices. And then we had this one. So if people don't know that if a woman has an index finger much larger than her ring finger, that's normal. When the index finger is higher, her ring finger is way higher. And we could go on and on and on with the whole transvestication thing. But
yeah, the whole idea here is if you're a guy, take a look at your hand and then compare it to the hand that you see on the screen, and you'll see index finger shorter, middle finger longest, ring finger in between, right, and then pinky shortest. That's what a man's going to see. But like Ronnie was saying, women see something different.
Exactly.
In general.
Yeah, their index finger's longer. Someone's pointing it out, right? Someone's pointing it out. We were checking that out in the news. It's interesting. This was the channel. He said, this Friday, September 16th, 11 a.m. Central Time, I'll be broadcasting a remarkable video in which the world will finally be introduced to an advanced alien species known as the Orcanians. Orcanians?
Yeah, it's that dumb video that he released.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So they were hyping him up.
But it's like iPad Goat. The whole thing is just loaded with symbolism.
Yeah.
And it's all a big secret that they're running, and they got to drip it out and keep people on the hook. It's a bunch of nonsense.
I'll put it in the chat anyways. It seems like there's people that I follow that are following it too. Weird. Yeah. Right? I'm not even am I following this weird channel? I guess I'll follow it. Let's continue on with the news here. It says here, oh, what happened? Did I lose that? Well, that one was basically just something interesting. Look at this, Jason. How do you think this street performer's doing this? Can you figure it out? Or how long it'll take you to figure it out?
I'm guessing that it's through an arm brace type thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I guessed. Right through this arm. The shovel is holding him. Right? He's got a harness on that goes right here. It's well done. Excellent performed street art, I think. It's a lost art. It really is a lost art. This is kind of what we go through on the Rise and Grind. We do all kinds of content. We don't just show one or two things. We try to bring a whole mixture. These were cool, Jay. Did you see these? They were like angel wings caught into I think it was in Russia or Republica of Novgorod. But yeah, interesting, right? There was somebody said on Facebook, it's chemtrails or something else. But so the moon.
It's beautiful.
It's almost behind the moon, right? In that shot, like a zoom in.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, right?
They're mixed up together right there.
Yeah, they looks like wings, does it not? I mean, it really
does.
Really looks like wings, and then it gets a little different
And
angle.
almost, if you go back, it almost looked like it was on a. It almost looks like it's wings on some sort of a beast. Like there's an animal there.
This part.
Yeah, the head going up, and then the arm, legs out forward.
Yeah,
Like a sitting dog or wolf.
It's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
The clouds do interesting things if you actually look up. We're supposed to see lots of heavenly signs, right? But this definitely looked like wings to me. You saw a whole creature. When I lost my Facebook account, there was this other guy that he was in Estonia. He would film everything, and it would always look like monsters in the sky, too. It was cool. But he's gone now. So, do you know about the EU creating a new bank to spur so-called investment in hydrogen fuel? Von der Leyen? Von der Leyen. Her name's Von der Leyen.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know about this?
I didn't hear about the new bank for it.
Yeah, a new bank for hydrogen fuel from the elite.
Man, where does hydrogen come from? Water, right?
Well,
Water.
this is found abundant in a lot of areas. We've been studying that. We're not going to get into that tonight. We're just going through the news. Here we go. Is this CGI, bro? Come on. Could you imagine seeing this here rainbow cloud?
That's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in Japan, I think, or China.
I don't know if it's real, but
Maybe CGI. I don't know. I've seen a few of these weird rainbow things. Like, I don't know, man. Because rainbows don't really look like that. They don't usually have the greenish color like this.
no, and it's got like a spine to it with the little wispy clouds.
Yeah, it's cool looking, right? I don't know if it's real, but I like it. It could be. What does it say here? Where are we in? Rainbow cloud, Japanese. So this is in Japan. It's beautiful there, huh? It looks like Hawaii. They got like all this beautiful coastline, and it's nice in Japan. I could see why they wanted to go to fight Japan. All the soldiers, the freemasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me to Okinawa, please. I'm gonna get my surfboard. What? Did you want to say more?
No, I was just gonna say my jerk of a dad who did 4 years in the Air Force said he spent most of his time playing golf in Japan.
Hang on. That's a bell ringer for your dad. Hey, at least he got to see Japan, right? And he golfed. Right? It must have been nice. Because there's no one inside the box, this is what you call a death cult. Why Queen Elizabeth's funeral doesn't have an open casket. Why do you not think so, Jay?
I hadn't heard for sure yet that it wasn't an open casket. So So all these people are walking past a closed casket.
Yeah, standing in queue for 30 hours.
Oh,
to walk past the casket of someone they never met, never talked to, and didn't know anything personally about. Nothing.
Can't even see, right?
These absolute nonsense, as the British would say. Sawed off with standing into some queue, and they're handing out marmalade, crown marmalade from the king.
But make sure you have your yellow bracelet on, right?
You got to have the yellow bracelet, and you get the marmalade. Then you get to walk by the empty casket. Here we go. F you, assholes. Here's some first footage of the moon landing. I don't know how clear you can see it, Jay. I know it's not a very big.
Put his helmet on.
You noticed that already? Jeez, you're observant. Hold on, action. These guys and their hoaxes. I can't believe anybody thought they actually did this. If I was alive back then, I would have been screaming my lungs out. F these guys are lying. They didn't go to the moon in that. I would have been saying that's duct tape. Gold foil right there. Come on now. Look at them all standing there. Got the actors and the scientists and Stanley Kubrick's team.
Taking your helmet off in the NFL is like a 15-yard penalty. These guys.
Nah, they thought they were being filmed. You know, they also made a bunch of movies that look like the real thing. And then what they do is they tell you, oh, this is disinformation. You're just showing a clip from that movie. Right? That's how they did it. This guy's a bad actor. He's not even doing any bounces or anything. But imagine, Jay, if you will, just take a second here. Picture. Let me turn this sound down. They got that old school track. Remember the Upriser track? Yeah, imagine, if you will, that in 72? I think it might even be before that. 3 guys got inside of a shuttle, and they launched up into the space, in the sky. And then 2 guys got inside of another piece of that shuttle, and they detached, right? Flew. This is after flying 250,000 miles. All 3 of these guys in this little tin can. It only had 1 fuel tank, 1 fuel of oxygen, 1 tank, 1 tank of gas. And they flew there. They detached. 2 guys went down, landed on the moon, got some samples, chilled out there for a bit, took off from the moon, reattached in outer space to the shuttle, and then flew 250,000 miles back to Earth in 1972. Think about that. Then today they can't even launch a rocket due to, they say, an O-ring failure, right? Like, I mean, a plastic O-ring. Come on now.
Yeah, well, the whole airlock thing. So they got that little tin can lunar lander. There's no airlock on it. It just goes from cabin to outside. So they're supposed to be sitting in there, just able to breathe without their suits on.
Yeah.
And then they put their suits on, then they open the lock, which means now the
the airlock, I know.
The airlocks, the whole cabin's
depressurized. Yeah.
All right, then they go back in, they take off their suits, but yeah, where did the pressure come back from?
It's so ridiculous.
It's just nonsense.
None of the gates or the gauges or anything they have are pressurized. You know what? I think it's time. We're going to do another song break. We're going to see you after this.
When you call me, I don't pick up. I just smoked the last of your bud. There's a cloud hanging over me, and it moves by in the blue sky, blue sky. Put my makeup on in a rush, 'cause I'm always missing the bus. Zooming up on the money's up, gonna cruise by in a new ride, riding down the block. You say that I changed, maybe you just stopped. Maybe that's okay. Wheels spinning on the whip. Wheels spinning on the whip. Wheels spinning on the whip. So thick, get a pick and it go click click. Wheels spinning on the whip. Wheels spinning on the whip. So thick, get a pick and it go click click. Sports car, but we don't play sports. Gifted, but we went off course. Big dreams of a shopping spree and a house with a picket fence and flowers. Did you fly too close to the sun? When I fly, I'm close to the front. Airplane mode when you text my phone. You had a window, but that shit closed. I don't wanna talk to you, it only makes it harder. When I'm on the phone to you, it's burning through my data. Data, data, only makes it harder.
Track by Memphis Outkid. That one was called Whip. She got me good, Jay. She really did. When she said at the beginning of the song, she said, when you call me, she said, I don't pick up. She said, I just smoked the last of your bud. It just like ripped into my heart. I was like, oh, that had to be the cutest thing I ever heard a girl say before. I just loved it. Let's get back into this here news, but I like that part of the song, if you guys don't know. It was a radio-friendly drum and bass type track, right? Called Whip by Memphis Okay. But anyways, back into this news. Check this out, Jay. You ready?
I am ready.
Should I put the angry music on? We'll both start venting. You're all gonna pay! Two of us, right? Nah, you won't do it. You're always calm and cool. This one says here, over 400 doctors, scientists, and professionals from more than 34 countries have declared an international medical crisis due to, quote, diseases and death, end quote, associated with cerveza 19 Ebolas. What do you think of that one, Jay?
Well, it's about time. We were talking about it before they came out, but now 2 years later, or a year and a half later, or whatever, at least some people are starting to talk about it, because yes, people are tipping over from it, tipping over and not waking up again.
And people are going to believe what they want to believe, right?
Or they're permanently damaged right now. Their lives have been ruined, dramatically changed for the worse.
I was muted there for a second. Let's keep going. So yeah, I thought this was good. This was great even though I think Ben Swan is an absolute shell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to let people know, if you don't know Ben, he's an old school truther, one of the original guys back in the day.
Yeah, he was
sold out
TV.
cuck.
He was on the television stations.
He got promoted, right?
Yep.
Let's go on. Let's move on now. Sorry about that, Ben. The Duke of York will be the counselor of state for the new king, Prince Andrew, to carry out royal duties. What do you think of that, Jay?
Oh. This is the guy who's going to counsel the king, eh?
Yeah. That's what they're saying.
Andrew. And of course, that's the one, everybody, if you didn't know, lots of really bad sexual allegations against this guy. Really bad.
Lots of him and the madam. What is it? Ghislaine. Like the crappy coffee I don't want you to drink, Maxwell. Check this out. What do you think? Is this fake? Is this CGI? Hang on, let me get the angry song on. You guys are going to come and think this is how you're going to burn down houses? This is all you got? It's the best the New World Order has, Jay. They fly around with helicopters and nuke crap.
Nuke?
You see?
I don't know.
Look at it. What do you think that is? It's being projected down. It's causing fire. Right? This is how they're...
Monster laser beam?
Yeah. This is how they're doing it in California, bro. This is how they're able to burn one side of the street. You know how we've seen it? Or you can see it's like, wow, almost like a laser went right through that street. You know, how did that happen, right? It doesn't usually happen like that, right? Nah, I think we have some evidence here. This is what they do, yeah. And they mount these to helicopters. Right. And they fly around like this.
I'm the guy that's running this new setup, see? I gotta have it in my fingers' ends if I'm gonna do it right.
It's nice with this track, huh?
Let them have it.
Sorry, I was just setting it up just in case Jason wanted to vent it. But you don't want to vent. But yeah, let's continue on. Know what they've always found with Alzheimer's patients, Jason? Excessive aluminum in the brain. Right? Why do they got to put aluminum in everything? The food, the water, and they want to shoot it in you, right? We can't talk about that too much.
Yeah, so
I don't want nobody touching this pretty mug but me.
they don't, these types of things don't break down. So there's microbeads, right? The microbeads, they don't break down. Once they get trapped inside your cells.
Yeah. But you don't think they've advanced with the chemical solution that they slurry up that makes it pass through the membranes, the wall barriers?
Yeah, well, the aluminum too, it just doesn't pass through the body. So what they try to do is raise you up to toxic levels of these things, where it clogs the filters in your body. It'll ruin your kidneys. It'll ruin all that stuff that's designed to filter the junk out. So I don't know, they just, through all their nasty testing that they do, they've figured out some of the worst things for people, and that's what they try to get as much of in us as possible.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you anymore.
Later.
We'll check on the details right now. Let's keep going. We only got a bit more. We're not going to go for 2 hours. We'll just check the coat of arms of von der Leyen. Guess what? It's like IPS, impy there. 2 black eagles. Right? You see this? her coat of arms.
That's very IPS-y.
Right?
Yeah.
He might have had double-headed one. Something. I don't know what these people are trying to talk about with their stupid symbolism. But it says here the Jesuits were banished from most of Europe and sent to Corsica, where Napoleon Bonaparte was born, and he made war against all European nations that banished the Jesuits. Okay? Napoleon. That wasn't that long ago. Talking 1800s. After that, they started doing the Great World of Wonders, right? The pyramids, all the stuff in Chichen Itza. But anyways, yeah, there's the coat of arms. We just want to point out the Jesuits all over everything. Have you seen this thing? The amazing fantasy they have to make themselves important. All this stuff, and it's related to Toronto, too. You wouldn't believe it, but yeah, badge of the Toronto Scottish Regiment. Right there. Yeah, then they got honor, order of merit. He's got all these things on his chest. This guy's never done anything but dress up like a jackass and get told you're going to be king one day. Could you imagine what that would do to your ego? What do you think it would do?
That's so funny. That's so funny. Just dressed up like a jackass.
Yeah, put this on. You're important now.
Clown suit. You might as well put the red nose on him at the same time.
Denoting that he's the Scottish Regiment, which is from where I'm from in Toronto, as you see right here. But Toronto also maybe is a city in England too. But yeah, we got the medals, Queen's Service Order, New Zealand, Coronation Medal. Look at all this nonsense. The braid. You got to have the braid. That makes it more powerful.
Sash.
It's the braid, right? The green sash. Oh yeah, the green sash is important too. Green sash, part of the Order of Thistle, Scotland's oldest order of chivalry. I wear that green sash. They're important. They got this bowl sack thing, the Saporon, made of a horse hair. Right here. These jackasses. What is this? He's holding a scepter? Is this supposed to be Jupiter, bro?
Like makeup brushes all over his crotch.
This is just jackass clownery that these guys... And they kick all the girls out, too, right? This is a boys' club. What are these things? I don't even tell you what these things are. There's a bunch of things you don't know. This is a butt plug. Because they're all fags. Sorry. Let's keep going. This is a night show. It's an adult show. Here we go, Jay. It took 10 years for the photographer, Marcelia Gulia Pace, to capture these 48 colors of the moon. Look at that.
That's
Isn't that
cool.
nice? Yeah, I was talking to you about that earlier, letting you know all the colors of the moon right here. Purple. Whoa. That's beautiful. I love all the colors of the moon. She is beautiful. This one's big, too.
Yeah, I've seen most of those except for maybe the purple.
Yeah? You haven't seen the purple one yet? Oh, I feel sorry. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's beautiful, though. But I wonder what part of the year.
The darker of the blues I may not have seen, but yeah, I've seen through most of the red ones, the gray ones for sure. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, right? It made the news segment of the podcast here. Here we go. Amtrak canceling all long-distance trains starting September 15th. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so the 16th was sort of like the strike deadline, and then they were saying that Biden came up with some sort of a deal. Now, I have not heard whether or not the unions are accepting this deal. So tomorrow will be the day when we find out if there's a walkout or that type of stuff. So that's another thing that leads us into this whole 17th and beyond time zone, is because what we shared when we started covering this on Sunday nights 2 weeks ago, one of the things that we did is we read from this Bill and Gideon. This is some QAnon type stuff. And the trigger sign that they said to watch for is when the railways stop. So the railroad strike would be a signal that we are moving into something real quick. So my eyes are on that.
Yeah, well, this next link says here, a big win for America. Biden already came out and announced a tentative deal to avert the national rail strike. So you're disagreeing. You're saying
it's the deal, but who's accepted it?
It says, quote, this agreement is a big win for America and both, in my view, he said during his Rose Garden speech, adding that the tentative labor deal is, quote, validation of what I've been always saying and believed. The union and the management can work together, end quote. This is just such nonsense. So are they trying to strong arm the union? Or the union not working for the same people that he works for? I'm confused.
Yeah, well, so he's offering a deal.
too
I
hard
think
to
the
back
union still has to decide whether or not they're going to accept it and walk out or not.
Okay, so we're still waiting. Tomorrow we're going to be finding out. Make sure you guys are checking the Drudge Report and all the other websites. Godlike Productions. Do some of your own research. Here we got Yuval Noah Harari warning humanity on Friday that if they refuse to hand their sovereignty over to the elite, they will face extermination. What do you got to say to Yuval?
Yeah, the idea of handing over your sovereignty to somebody is
To him. He wants to know everything that you think.
hand over your sovereignty. Fuck you.
He wants to know, he said in an interview, we watched it today, video. He said, why shouldn't I know exactly what you think about me? Right? I want to know everything. What are they going to do?
He doesn't want to know what I think about him. I'm sure he doesn't.
I mean, I got to say this, brother. I got to say this. All these people, especially this character we got right in front of us right now, all these guys think this is all fun and games because something has told them, hey, don't worry, there's going to be no consequences to what you do. Do this. It's going to be good for you. What's going to happen when everything gets flipped? Really? It's going to happen.
Yeah, the people at the top get put to the lowest. The people that were the lowest get put to the top. That's the way flipping works.
He's going to pay, right? It says hand over your sovereignty to the elite or die. You're going to die either way. And so is this guy. Right, but he's trying to save his life. He then goes on to state, of course, we're going to live forever. The elite, they're going to be able to purchase extended lives. That's his goal. By killing all of the, regular people.
Yeah, they want to organ harvest. Well,
that's what Satan's told them. Azazel has gone and told these people, okay, we're going to build you a simulation inside the simulation, and you're going to be like Westworld. You guys are going to live forever. You'll just change your avatar body like, what was that other movie with the stacks? We talk about it all the time.
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon, right? Don't worry. They believe it too, because Yahawah said, I'll let them believe whatever their hearts want. So they're building this simulation inside the simulation, and then they're going to try to project and live forever, he says. They're going to get stuck in there. It's hell. It's like all of a sudden somebody else is going to show up, Yuval, in your little new avatar suit, and they're going to go, excuse me, could you come over here for a second? And then you're going to find out what being stuck in a tortured loop for eternity feels like. And we're going to say to you, hey, Yuval, we warned you. We warned you. All the people that censored us didn't allow us to talk to you. And who do these people, on what authority? This guy, he just spews nonsense atheism, but we know what he is, right? He's a Kabbalist, right? Crypto Kabbalist. He tries to pretend like he's an atheist. All the tiny hat guys. George Soros, another one of these guys. I'm not religious. Oh, they're non-religious J-ish people, they say, right? Okay. And they're out here promoting the most filth, the most wickedness. This guy right here. I don't get mad at people, but the things that this man says, it really does irk me. What do you have to say before I move on? I was just looking in the chat to see what anyone was saying.
Nah, I was just going to pick on him for the...
We don't need to make... Yeah, we don't need to make fun of his appearance. His words, the sickness. Oh, this one doesn't exist anymore. It was too true. It was taken down like my morning show and yesterday's podcast. Whoops. Check this out. Have you ever seen a shooting star like this?
I saw that clip, I think, last night.
You saw it already? All right. Doesn't surprise me. I've seen one like this not that long ago. Driving through northern Canada with my dad, we saw one, and I was like, wow! We could go find that thing. It felt like it was so... They're close. Outer space is literally right close to us.
Obviously, those clouds are only tops a couple miles away.
It's going in between them.
Right.
It went under the cloud. Should I freeze it? It's going in. I've
never seen one like that in real life.
I have.
Myself.
I have. I thought it hit the earth. I was freaking out. Dad, I think it exploded over there. I wanted to keep driving. We were driving. We had like a 7-hour drive or whatever, running around picking something
Let's
up.
go find it.
I was interested. But yeah, it looked just like this. So the shooting stars are really close. Everything is super close to us, and just we've been told to believe otherwise, right? What's this one say? Oh, looks like this one here. It looks like a street lamp in a leafy London road. But this is actually a Chinese-made facial recognition camera. One of millions of sinister-looking CCTV cameras quietly installed across Britain recently. Look at them. You see these things? They just want to track everything.
Facial recognition, so they are literally pinpointing who you are, where you are.
All of it.
Not
everything.
just using it.
Your expressions. They can tell if you're mad, angry, sad, all of it. Didn't you watch Person of Interest? That stupid TV show with the tiny hat little guy that was on Lost?
I don't think so.
The guy in the Person of Interest show was the same character in Lost, who was the captive, faked his wife's death and all that. He was the leader. Remember that guy, the short guy? I think his name was Benjamin.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Well, he played the character in Person of Interest, and what he did was he used an AI system, linked it to all the cameras, and then he was able to read people's, and they were able to stop. They were pre-crime, right? It was all about pre-crime. But yeah, they were using this technology in that show, and that show was like back in 2002 or 3 or 4, like really old. But moving on, a couple more tweets. We'll do some memes and we'll get out of here and have a weekend. We just wanted to cover this again. It was mostly those other tweets, like that guy. How did he nail the Queen's death? Well, this one says soil is alive, and the degree of its aliveness determines the health and the vibrancy of the plant life, and subsequently the humans that eat it too. Do you guys on the other side of the screen think about how healthy your dirt is? Do you feed your dirt? Do you talk to your dirt and ask it if it's okay? Because it's super important what the dirt's doing.
Healthy dirt, right? You want it to be full of nutrients. Like, put your compost out in the dirt and make sure your dirt's got plenty of water.
The alkaline.
It's like a living thing because you got the worms in it. You got the.
It's an ecosystem.
Yeah,
a full ecosystem. You can use guana. There's all these different kinds of things that you can use. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but it's true. The dirt is alive, and you can talk to it. This one here, signed in order to provide Ukraine the POTUS $600 million. Biden, like, what are they doing with all this money? Is it even real, or is it just a number in a bank account?
You've heard about Ukraine pushing Russia back, right? They're the counteroffensive.
The super counteroffense. The strongest ever. No one ever imagined that the Ukraine could be so powerful.
It's because of the money Biden's spending, right?
That's where it's coming from? The United States of America. Check this out, bro. This is a cool patch, just to finish this off. I can sew a bit. You know I've repaired my clothes, right? You watched me.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting kind. Instead of cutting it out and putting a patch over it, we're just going to go on top. And so she does by going around the corners on the outside first, tracing the square. She drew on there. And then she goes back to this corner and then starts going downwards. And then to this corner and to this corner. It takes some work, you know?
Just going to cover it up, huh?
Yeah, it would take some serious patience, but there's something very peaceful about watching someone sew for me. I don't know about you. It's always been peaceful. You know, I long for the quiet, peaceful things in life. The white picket fence with the swinging chair and the coffee as the sun sets, you know, overlooking the fields. We got to fight the New World Order. Look at that.
That's a nice patch.
I turned it into like a pendant brooch patch. Looks like a snowflake. It's nice, right? They didn't teach me this in home ec. Get mad? Put that other angry song on. Nah, I'm just
I made
kidding.
a robot pillow. 7th grade.
All right, let's do a song break. Come on, let's get out of here. I'll be right back.
Tell me what I'm feeling, my head's reeling from what I see in you. And even if I lose, I got my reasons, but it's not something I choose. Yeah, when I'm with you, I'm better off with you. sweet true, can I be ready? Yeah, when I'm with you, with you, with you, I'm better off with you. When I'm with you, with you, with you, I'm better off with you. Yeah, when I'm with you, with you, with you, I'm better off with you. When I'm with you, with you, with you, I'm better off with you.
What a new track. That was a nice radio-friendly drum and bass track. That was With You. Better off, he said, right? Jason, welcome back. Let's do a couple more memes before we get into this weekend. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Beyond Rise and Grind. Jason, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, it's an interesting podcast, right? You get to see behind the hood what we do. Check out this meme. You might laugh, you might not. It says, quote, man, maybe life isn't about finding the perfect lamp, but finding the lamp inside you. It's a moth. I liked it.
Funny.
I thought it was pretty good too. This one here is interesting, right? Power source, camera and microphone, processor. What have your taxes accomplished for you? It's got a syringe on it right here. Right? This is their new drone technology they're showing, right?
Yeah, I've heard about these. I just haven't seen a picture of one yet. Oh, that
that's what it looks
makes
like.
me happy, because chances are, with all the fake things that they do, that might actually be real.
Yeah, they might have built these things, right? Background music's probably a little loud. It doesn't duck enough. I got to get it to duck to your voice as well. Thanks for anyone that's tuning in right now this Friday night. This was the morning show. I'm not playing all the tweets and tabs that I used in the morning because we'd be here forever. But, they took it down. I found it interesting that they took it down and just deleted it completely off. There's no record of it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that happen?
New one.
That's a new one, right?
A new one. That is a new one.
So we just thought we'd do it together, and Jason was a good sport. He said he'd show up here. This one is so important and so true. It says you're never too important to be nice to people, right? Reminds me of, I met a lot of famous people, hockey players and this and that, and Jose Canseco was an asshole. He was so ignorant and rude. And then you had someone like John Force, was a funny car driver. He was the nicest guy ever. He's like, come on over. He'd invite me into his pit. Come over and chat with me, You can really tell who true, genuine, authentic people are, who they are, by the way that they treat other people. You just have to step back and observe. It doesn't take very long, does it, Jason?
No. Not if you pay attention. People actually show their colors really quick. You just listen to what comes out of their mouth, and you'll see what's coming out of their heart.
Yeah, how they treat people.
Yeah, so this being nice to people. I had a recent example of it where a guy was he was nice to me. I was looking for a certain type of circuit breaker. He was an electrician, and they didn't have them in stock in the store, but he said he might have one in the truck. Well, it turned out he didn't have one, but he was such a nice guy. I took note of it and said, if I have a job coming up where I need an electrician, I thought I'm going to give this guy a call. Well, he's working on the job that we're on now because he was a nice guy. And so just wherever you are, whatever crap you're going through, if you just continue to be nice to people, there's a good chance that something's going to be able to come around and come to your benefit because you're a nice person. So don't forget to be a nice person, even if you're ornery about how crappy the world is right now.
Yeah, it's so true. And he's a great guy. And you know what? The two people that are working with us now both think that it was divine. Both of them. After, spending a day with us. It's interesting how things happen like that, I will say. Check this one out. Isn't the beautiful autumn colors? I bet you missed this from being from Wisconsin. I know you didn't like the cold.
Yeah, but that was a traumatizing color because that meant that the white stuff was right around the corner.
I knew you were going to say it was traumatizing. I was scarred by this. Okay, let's get into something funny. Check this out. I think you've seen it. La-di-da, they're protected. Is that the casket? So this is the thing that they're queuing for. Let's zoom in on this. This is what they're queuing for, everybody in the audience. And you're my friends, not my followers. If anyone says you're a follower, get away from me. You are my friends. I zoomed in too far. We see these guys standing guard. I guess that's the tomb, the casket with nothing in it. I guess, right? So these guys are standing guard. I don't know if they made everybody take the thing for this. The thing that we can't talk about. But, what's going on with this guy? He's starting to get a little shaky here. He's leaning. Oh, he's doing a lean again. This guy should have grabbed him at this point. He's going down.
Against the rules.
Oh, little face plant. I wonder if he hurt his
film.
He probably hurt his nose a little bit. Maybe hit his mouth. But, what happened to that guy? This is just sudden adult death syndrome. Is that what this is? There he goes. Oh, he couldn't even use the thing to protect himself. I don't know, man. Poor guy. Don't take the Jabola. Moving on. Let me get this back into screen here. This is a very important meme. Accepting a digital ID will actually lock you into a permanent prison cell. Right? You need to untwist this as soon as possible. Jason, what do you have to say about the biometric digital ID?
Yeah, that's the way the start button's going to look on cars soon. And so everything's going to be tagged, and if they want to lock you out of anything, they'll be able to lock you out of your car, your house, your work, you name it. So, yeah, it's being biometrically tagged means now they have the ability to control where you go, what you do, have full control over it. It's hideous.
Yeah, everything, right?
It's as bad as it can get.
So like my videos disappeared today. Both of them, live stream and yesterday's podcast, hours of content gone. I would go to push the start on my car and it would, there would be an alarm going off. The car doors would lock and the cops would show up right there, or the car would just take me to the police station, lock me in it, and drive me to the cops. Like, do you guys not know why I'm the loudest guy out here saying, I don't want any of this digital ID, none of this nonsense, self-driving vehicles. You could burn them. The other funny thing is too, we gotta we'll wait till we get to that meme. Let's keep going here. We're gonna get through this before the end of the day. This is important. I don't know if this is why they took me down, but all these poisons and the things that they put on the women. Now, I know you, Jason. I know you. The most beautiful woman does not have nothing on, right? Natural as natural could be. I'll let you talk. You can speak. For me, the most natural is natural. Everything just natural.
Yeah, read the ingredients, people. If you can't understand the word, it's probably not good for you. So
yeah,
look at this meme here, and it's got all these things, big, huge.
26 chemicals in eyeshadow. Foundation, 24 chemicals. Deodorant, the worst one on here, targeting your lymph nodes. 32 chemicals. It says it all right here.
Polyethylene, right?
Yeah, I don't even want to hear the word. It makes me sick. Nail polish. Most worrying, it says. 31 chemicals. Fake tan. I know none of y'all ladies out there are putting the fake tan on, but they put it here anyway. 22 chemicals. Look at this one. Perfume. Oh, we got a meme about smell too, but perfume here, 250 chemicals to make you smell pretty. And you know, the problem with that is when you mask your true pheromones, the true smell of what you are, you're actually deceiving your partner. They are attacking people through the scents that they put on. Then all of a sudden, you don't love the person you're with. Weren't even chemically, you don't match with them. But because they wore Chanel, whatever number 10 or some witchcraft thing, now you're in love with that person. And then this is a huge problem. Lipstick, 33 chemicals. All this stuff needs to go. Or like I had said this morning, right? You can find natural makeups. You can find stuff. And it's made out of animal fat. Cow fat rendered. It becomes natural saturated fats. It actually puts moisture back into your skin. This stuff here is just toxic. I don't want to rant too long about it, but take this stuff off.
Let the clowns wear the makeup.
I'm so mad though. My daughter, all the women I love, they're targeting them. I don't gotta keep going. I don't want to yell. It's Friday night. This one says the longer the shelf life, hey, the shorter yours. ... What do you think of that one, Jay? You don't need any of this crap.
Yeah, well, I finally got to the point where I realized when you walk into a gas station, there is nothing edible or drinkable in there other than a bottle of water. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else.
Sometimes some jerky and Buc-ee's. There is a few. There's a few. What do we call those? Asterisks.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that
the general
gas station where this is the snack aisle in the gas station.
All this stuff is just poison.
It's toxic.
It's just poison. Right. It doesn't go bad like McDonald's food. Stay away from it. Moving on. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? This mountain edge. They get the waterfall. The way that the sunlight is shining through. It's just nice. This one is interesting. I know you were talking about this, but Charles, the so-called king of the earth, he's linked to Vlad the Impaler. Right. I know you saw
direct descendant.
Direct descendant. Here's the family tree, right? Like we can go Christ to Adam or whatever, but here we're gonna go Charles to Vlad. This guy impaled people. The Impaler, right? Think about that for a second. All right down here. I'm not gonna read all the names, but yeah, Elizabetta, 11A. That's boom, Charles. On both sides, it looks like there's two different trees here.
Yeah, I think there's the male side and the female.
And the female.
They have, yeah.
Both descending down. Wow. To Vlad. I just thought that was interesting, right? I know you had heard about it, but now we actually have the tree. Moving on to electric car batteries. Jason, what do you know about batteries in the cold weather?
Yeah, it kills them, right?
They die. They don't charge. They die. They don't hold a charge. Anybody that's ever worked outside in the cold knows exactly what happens to batteries in the cold. They suck. They're the worst ever. But yet they want to make you believe that you're going to the whole new Canada. We're moving ahead. Canada's going to ban all fuel soon, right? Which they can't do. They can't even make enough batteries to support that because it takes so much.
Here's the thing, like they don't really plan on making all these battery cars. They have fuel cell cars already where it's hydrogen that gets converted to electricity, and then you have the electric motors. It's an electric car, but you don't have the big batteries. So the way I see it is the New World Order, they plan on bringing in the hydrogen technology after what they're calling the Great Reset. So they plan on having killed all the Christians and all the righteous people and having their slaves, and then they'll have the electric vehicles, but not the battery ones like Teslas right now. That's absolutely arcane technology. Super.
Yeah.
Why isn't there?
I know what you're saying.
Why isn't there an alternator on a Tesla?
It's ridiculous that they're not charging the rest of the car with the other wheels and the braking system and so many other things too. But we're not going to get too deep into that. I just wanted to point out the batteries suck in the cold. So good luck, WEF and New World Order idiots. This one here. Have you ever seen the crown shyness? with a tree formation. It says here, the canopies of these trees don't ever touch each other. It's a natural phenomenon called crown shyness. Have you seen it? Can you see it?
I've
Should I
never
zoom
seen
in?
it. That looks incredible, though.
I know it's probably hard for everybody to see the other side of the screen. Unless you got big screen TVs. We always try to make our content for big screen TVs. Just for
Those are
everybody
some
else.
big trees, too.
Yeah, they go way up. Like, woo. You know, and I just want to take this time again. If you don't know the trees, I strongly recommend that you get out into nature before the snow falls here in the north. And you lean up against one of these trees and have a talk with them. Talk to the trees. They know so much, right? They've been witnesses the whole time, right? Being reborn again too, right? And the mycelia and the way that the root systems work, as above, so below, everything's attached. We're like trees. You guys are going to find out soon enough. But yeah, aren't these beautiful, bro? Crown shyness. What do you think?
Yeah, it's neat
See
that
that?
they keep themselves separate. They don't.
Nope, they don't touch. They grow that way, right? Because nobody's climbing up here and trimming these. Because I'll tell you, I would love to. Trust me, I would do it. I'm afraid of heights, but I mean, that's a lot of work. What are you gonna do? Go up there with one of those battery-powered trimmers or whatever? You know, the ones with the two-sided blades where it's. That's called topiary, which I do enjoy to do, actually. Pruning shrubs and trees. I actually love to do that. Check out Switzerland. Look at that. Have you ever seen Switzerland like this?
Yeah, Switzerland's got some amazing country.
Right.
Norway too. I always wished I could have gone over there and checked out some of that landscape.
Me too. Get the mountains, with the sun just up here causing some crepuscular rays shining down. How low that cloud is. You can touch it. There's a cloud right here. The peaks off in the distance, right? This is ambient. It would be so romantic and like just ominous. You get these valleys. You get this river here. You could have a house here. You could have a house up here, right? Look at this place. All this natural too. Not much of it has been distorted that much. I can see a path through here. Animals make trails, right? But that's Switzerland. We're going to stop the whistling birds. We're going to do another sound break, and then we'll finish off this morning. What is that? Oh, I was trying not to do that. This is Beyond the Rise and Grind. And I'll see you guys after this song.
Raise up, crystal clear, come and shatter every element of atmosphere. Raise up, crystal clear, basically we disappear, then we reappear. Raise up, crystal clear, come and shatter every element of atmosphere. Raise up, crystal clear, basically we disappear when we shift the gear. Direct hit coming straight from the cannon, turn that shit up loud until the speakers straight banging. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, let the bass spray. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, get up out the way. Direct heat coming straight from the cannon, turn that shit up loud until the speakers straight banging. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, let the bass spray. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, get up out the way. Get up out the way. Get up out the way. Direct hit coming straight from the cannon, turn that shit up loud until the speakers straight banging. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, let the bass spray. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, get up out the way. Direct hit coming straight from the cannon, turn that shit up loud until the speakers straight banging. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, let the bass spray. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, get up out the way. Direct hit coming straight from the cannon. Turn that shit up loud into the speaker straight banging. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, let the bass spray. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, get up out the way. Direct hit coming straight from the cannon. Turn that shit up loud into the speaker straight banging. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, let the bass spray. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, get up out the way. Get up out the way. Get up out the way. Direct hit coming straight from the cannon. Turn that shit up loud into the speakers straight banging. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, let the bass spray. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, get up out the way. Direct hit coming straight from the cannon. Turn that shit up loud into the speakers straight banging. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, let the bass spray. Tear 'em up, knock 'em down, get up out the way.
A hard one. I don't know if you all are awake. Tango Whiskey Pete and out the way with a trap, dubstep, synth-step, drum and bass jungle track. Can you believe that? If you weren't awake, I bet you are now. And if you're not on our side, you better get out the way. We are gonna roll over you. Jason, how you doing, bro?
Excellent.
Let's take it down a notch here. Calm down, everybody. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm all about fast pace, high energy. Let's go. Let's tear it up. And sometimes, too, I just want to chill out and hear some piano. I don't know about you. How about you, bro?
I'm more middle of the road most of the time. Not quite as up and down.
Yeah, I know.
Middle
I'm
of
sorry.
the road.
I'm sorry. I am what I am. I just go on my natural spirit. I let it take me.
I don't think one way is better than the other. That's just me.
I got it from my dad too. Me and my dad, wherever we would go, we go to a hockey game. We take the subway. He'd run. We would run. You know, we are always just energy, man. That's where I come from. I just vibrate different than most people. And sure, yeah, when I get down, I get down. Okay, whatever. Okay, but I don't allow myself to stay mediocre. I go for it. And I want, and you always promote that we all be exactly who we are, right? You are balance, okay?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I was the guy back in the day at Six Flags when I saw a short line in a ride. I was running. I was jumping the gates.
So you got the energy too, but now you're just chilled out. I am too. Yeah, I am too.
Now.
Me too. I'm getting old too. But hey, I can still throw it down and get up and I can do what I need to do. But this one's really beautiful. It says, this place is a dream. Only a sleeper considers it real. Then death comes like dawn. And you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief. Rummy. What do you think of that, bro?
Yeah, super true. Even what the old Eastern sages said about, like the Buddha, that what you believe to be real is not real. This world is an illusion. All these types of things. It's the same thing, that if you believe this world to be real, you're one of the sleepers. You have to do a lot of work to get to the point where you can understand that this isn't the real world. That means you have to have overcome the ego. So the ego is always going to make you believe that you are the source of everything. So once you control the ego, get it, make it your servant instead of it being your master, then you can actually let go of a whole bunch of the things that were traumatizing and stuff like that, and wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief, you'll see that these things that you've made to be so traumatic can literally be forgotten about and become a nothing the next day.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how we go through those things where it's like we're so anxious, we get anxiety and grief. We suffer, we put ourselves through all this torture and we work ourselves up and it's like, oh, all this pain, and then it just bam happens, it's over, we're good. Right? If only we just knew. If we just knew, Jason. You're speaking some wise words. Let's keep going here. It's getting late. This one says, once you realize the power of your words, you won't just say anything. Once you realize the power of your thoughts, you won't just think anything. Once you realize the power of your presence, you won't just be anywhere. What do you think of this meme?
Yeah, so you become selective as you grow in these powers of thought and your presence in these things. You become much more selective. You don't just share it with anybody. In the scriptures, that you're told to not cast your pearls before swine, and so you'll see it in yourself. You'll end up making decisions where, if this person you've tried and tried and tried, and they won't change, they won't take any correction, and they're toxic, these types of things, you're not gonna be in their presence anymore. You're gonna separate yourself, because you are special, right? You're not worth sharing yourself with things that are just wretched, right? There's
precious.
There's things that we invest in where we try. We might see somebody or have, a family member or an old friend or something that you try, but eventually you'll get to the point where you'll realize that you're wasting your effort on something that's not worth it. And so it can be a little bit isolating at times. But what we're going through right now is a refining process where all of us that are isolating are now starting to come into communion with each other and have each other, where it's a refined group of people that are in communion with each other. So
yeah, true. I see a little bit more. You're boiling it, reducing it down to simple words here. But if you look here again, so your words have power. So be careful with what you say, right? Your thoughts. So when they were about to stone the whore, the prostitute, Christ came up, wrote on the dirt. He told them, if any of you have lusted after a woman in your mind, you too have committed this sin. Okay, your thoughts are powerful. It wouldn't be a sin if you weren't damaging somebody. So you hold your thoughts, be careful with them, right? And then all the other rest of it is the same. Your presence, honor it. But anyways, I could go on about each of these memes for hours. This one says, a healthy mind does not speak ill of others. Now, calling out liars and deceivers is something we are commanded to do. What good is a watchman who sees the enemy approaching and does not blow the horn? You're good for nothing, okay? But other than that, when I go to talk something about I stop myself. I did it today. I said, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything negative about anybody. And when I talk about the people that I love, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. I'm going to just sit there and think loving thoughts about them. That's it. And I know they can feel it. People can feel what you think and say about them behind their backs. Okay? So choose good things. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to not speak ill of anyone other than like New World Order agents. If you've been identified as a shill, a COINTEL agent out there that's trying to mislead people, yeah, then I'm definitely going to speak ill of you. But the average person that you meet on the street, even the person that cuts you off in traffic, I'm not throwing in the bird and getting all upset. I'll just smile and wave and wish them well on their way, right?
Yes. And that's something we've been talking to with the guy we're working with, Aaron. Shout out to Aaron. He's doing a great job. He's one of the luckiest men I've ever known to be married in a good marriage. He treats his wife so good, Some of the stuff I was telling him, you better be good to your wife. When I meet her, I'm going to ask her. And you know what? I found out listening to him, he's good to her and she's good to him. So shout out to them. But everybody just needs to take things one step at a time and continue to try to think positive thoughts and healing thoughts. And don't say anything bad about anybody else. We only got a few more. This one says, the key is to catch yourself as soon as you realize you're thinking a negative thought, and then switch it to something and appreciate it, or something of gratitude. So we always say, Jason, our line is that if you're about to lie, what is it you're supposed to do?
Nah.
No, that's when you don't want to think a thought. When you're about to lie, you are too.
Just shut up.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Stop talking. That's what I do.
Don't let the words come out of your mouth. Just
And it becomes easy over time. I don't know if you on the other side of the screen, if you tell lies. I mean, sometimes a white lie, or I'll say something and I'll be like, did that happen? And I'll just start judging myself. I'm like, did I just lie? Because I'm going on a streak here. Since I met Jason, we talked about this type of, when you play a video game, like, and you go on a streak where you just get all these kills or whatever the game is that you're playing. So we want to be on a streak where we just tell the truth all the time. Every single time. We don't tell a lie ever. And sometimes I'm confronted with, oh no, is that a white lie? Did it go down just like that? Did I embellish? Because my mom's mom, she was super hard on me. She didn't want anyone to lie. And I think she would say to me that an embellishment was a lie, right? Mm-hmm. If you embellish something, then you're lying. So you should always try to be as descriptive about things as possible. But this is key. If you catch yourself thinking something negative and you realize it, right? Switch it to something positive or appreciative instead. That's the gist of the meme. What do you think?
Absolutely. And so the switching. So this is a matter of you mentally monitoring your own thoughts. You have to actually catch, okay, that was negative. That was not, so that's not an outcome I want, right? So this is a bad outcome. So I'm not going to think about it. So how do you stop it? So one technique I've used is to literally just use the na-na-nas. Just na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Take it to the na-na-na-nas.
Yeah, and until you actually have enough mental clarity to be able to say, okay, I'm going to think about something now that I want to think about.
Yes.
And you make the switch, and then you stop saying the nas, and you go into thinking about this thing that you want to think about. And if you start to relapse and the other thoughts come back in your head, use the na-na-nas again, and then, just work your way progressively into this positive thought train, and then don't look back. Just keep going.
That's great advice. You can also do prayers with light. You can project light through your feet into the ground, through everything in the earth, back up into your feet, up through your head, up into the sky. And then the light projects outwards throughout all of heaven. And then comes back down into your crown of your head, through your spine, back down and through the soles of your feet into the earth. Spreads out again. And you can meditate that way. You can meditate that there's a shed of light, that your aura is just golden and light and it's all around you and it protects you. And you can do these types of practices for anything. If you can count to 10 while taking deep breaths, if you can't sleep at night. It's 8 seconds in. Hold it for as long as you can, and then I believe it's 8 seconds you breathe out slowly. And these types of breathing practices, the na-na-nas is extreme. Another one that you can do, I even had to employ recently too, you put an elastic band on your wrist, and every time you have a negative thought or something's hurting you or you're traumatized, you just flick your wrist, and it's almost like Pavlov conditioning, just used for something good. We are programmable. That's what Yuval Harari is coming out saying. That humans are now programmable. We've been programmable. They've been programmable all along. Most people are sheep being led by false shepherds. But through these types of mental techniques, you can actually get through anything. And I'm on a big rant. Let's get this going here. We're almost done. This one says being spiritual won't make you a better person by so-called society standards. If it's done correctly, it will actually make you a person no one understands, accepts, or wants to be around. This is the actual real success of learning the truth about your own soul. This is what Jason was talking about earlier, about the seclusion, being an independent person, not vibing, not wanting to be around people that just talk about nonsense. You just can't do it anymore. It just starts to sound like filth. You get toxic inside when you're around people that are vibrating at a lower rate, right? What did you want to add about this one?
Yeah, so it's not a glamorous road. So you'll see these characters on Facebook and YouTube that come across as big spiritualists, and they're gurus or they're shamans or stuff like this, and they've got all these, followers that have all these adulations for these characters. That's not real. The real spiritual leader is not going to be in the public eye getting that type of attention, because it's not fun work. This requires you going through a lot of shadow work. A lot of self-denial is really one of the keys to it. Learning learning things like abstinence, learning things like it's hard work where you limit yourself. But through this, you get to a point where you get to know the real you, what makes you tick, what's important to you, and then you start following that path, and so you're satisfying yourself. You're full of inner satisfaction. You don't actually need it from everybody else. You don't have to have the likes. You don't have to have the follows, because you're self-fulfilled. So it will separate you if you're on a spiritual path. Don't expect to be a part of the herd anymore.
Yeah.
If you go down this spiritual journey.
Because once you start vibrating at a high rate, you can't really be around lower vibrational people anymore. You just can't. It's just true. And that's why this meme is really well illustrated. And self-adulation, that's not quite what we're talking about. What we're talking about is finding out what your true soul desires to do and to be. And then when you follow that path, all of a sudden the other people that have a soul connection to that, you guys just link up, right? It's a natural thing that takes place, and you could feel it. But it becomes, you have to do the work, like Jason was saying. It says, once you become consciously aware of just how powerful your thoughts are, you will realize everything in your life is exactly how you allow it to be. So we talk about manifesting here all the time. Jason and I constantly telling people your thoughts manifest to reality. So think good things, think positive thoughts, control who you're around. This is such an important meme. I wish people understood just how powerful your thoughts were.
Yeah, and that last part of it there, you will realize everything in your life is exactly how you allow it to be. So that means usually the life that you have that you're not happy with has to do with the fact that you're allowing some things to take place that you don't. So it's usually a lack of effort, a laziness. So you're allowing certain things to take place, and then you're not ending up with what you want. So with the power of manifestation, if you isolate what it is that you do want and the things that you don't want, then what you're going to do is put your mind to getting the things, making the changes, doing the things necessary to having life be the way you want it to be. So you can manifest it. You'll come up with a plan of action, and you'll put it into place, and you'll do it, and things will change. And all of a sudden, you weren't just allowing something. Now you're actually in control, driving the change to what you want it to be.
Starts off with the thoughts, everything you think. A couple more. This one says, I was no longer needing to be special because I was no longer so caught in my punny separatedness that had to keep proving I was something. I was a part of the so-called universe. I was like a tree. I'm also like the grass, or like the water. I think that's a pretty meme. I like the way that one reads. No longer needed to be special. Just be you. Right? Jason?
It's got a trigger word in it for me, the universe.
Oh, well, it just means one realm. Come on. Come on. It means one realm. Etymologically. Can we get by it? Listen to it.
Get by it.
It says that he no longer was so caught in his punny separatedness. Puny. Sorry. Puny. Little man syndrome, right?
Yeah, well, that's what the universe teaches, that we are these puny specks of dust, right?
Sagan. Carl.
Yeah.
He
So
teaches that.
yeah, he's saying that he got over that separateness and caught up in it, and
He became part of the trees and the grass and like the water. All connected because we're made from all those things. If you don't know, now you know. The last one of the night says, be gentle with yourself. You are actually meeting parts of you that you have been long at war with. Take all the time you need. Jason, you know, you're one like that. Healing takes time, takes patience, takes habitual routines. And everybody heals and moves on and grows at the same pace. I'm sure everybody's suffering right now. I don't know. Like, this place is such a grinder. We had to do a Beyond the Grind tonight because they ground me down this morning. But yet here we are. We don't give up. We never give up. We fight. We try to do the best we can. What do you have to say about this, meme?
yeah, be gentle. It takes time. So big traumatic things like a divorce, a death, things like this, they realize that when that happens, you're going through that, this is something that's going to affect you strongly for the next year. Don't have expectations that it won't. You're not just going to be at the party the next weekend having fun like you were, you know, the week before. It takes time to heal from big traumatic things, even years. So as long as you're always moving in the correct direction, you're moving forward instead of backwards, you'll eventually get through it, and it'll be a bygone. It'll be behind you. If you try to suddenly jolt yourself out of it, chances are there's going to be some bad relapses that you're going to have to deal with. So take your time, but there's some things right now time is of the essence, because there is a deadline for this world where all of a sudden judgment's going to begin. So there's some things that you have to prioritize and do quickly. But in general, when you have the time to make these changes, do it slowly. A person that's dieting to lose a big amount of weight, if they try to do it in a crash diet, chances are there's going to be a big relapse. The person that takes the weight off methodically, you know, a few pounds a week, but always moving in the right direction, once they get to their goal, they'll be able to maintain it. So
True.
Similar strategy here.
Really well said. True. So, you know, that was tonight. We're probably going to be live on the Awake Souls YouTube channel on Sunday at 8 p.m. Central. It's now 9:54 p.m. Friday, September 16th. This was Beyond the Grind. And, you know, we definitely hope that everybody is calm. They have a good weekend. We'll be back Sunday. I'll probably have a mix too. Some new drum and bass out. Do you have any last words? And then I'll let us out.
Yeah, I just want to mention that they got their red heifers for the third temple over in Israel, and Artemis is scheduled to launch September 27th. And what day is that, brother?
Trumpets.
Tishri 1.
The new moon. The next new moon is one of the best ones that's coming up, everybody. So slowly but surely, the moon's going to get lower and lower on the horizon as the sun rises, until the sun is so close that you can't see the moon anymore. That becomes a no moon. And then when the moon comes back, it'll be a new moon, and it'll be seen on the other horizon at sunset. And we're just approaching that, headed into the best month of all, fall, the festival month, the parties, the celebration month. We're supposed to camp outside under the stars. It's very, I don't know, nostalgic for me. I don't know. What are your last words? And I'm going to tell us. I'll play us out after we're done.
Yeah, just that with all the things that we're seeing in the world, we're in the high watch window for a major event coming from the New World Order. Like Ronnie showed earlier, there was that meme of 17 cities, one event. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's the 17th. We've got the Trump speaking in Ohio on the 17th, and on the 23rd, that's within a 7-day period right before trumpets, right? Tishri 1. So with Artemis, all these other headlines, the railroad strike, and the Queen's funeral is on Monday, and there's going to be all of these heads of state, like monarchs, kings and queens. All these kings and queens are going to be coming. They're going to be there on Monday for the funeral. So many opportunities for large events. We're watching, and we're excited because that means we really want to get into the Great Tribulation to just get this wicked world over with and get on to the next one.
Apparently, something going on with my sister. She tried to call me. She says it's important.
All right, well, I guess we got to get going.
Well, I mean, that was a great way to let it out. So we're watching. We're watching to see what could take place tomorrow, and moving on into the next month or so. There could be all kinds of cataclysms. But so, sure as the sky is blue, this last song is good. It's called "Shape to You" by Sun and Eliza. And I'll see you guys next week. Okay, have a good week. No, I'll see you Sunday. Here I go.
Sunday.
Tripping over my words. I'll see you guys Sunday. Take care. Shape to You, Sun and Eliza. Bye.
I don't need to run there. I don't need to find where. I'm always with me. There's a place for you already in your bones, shaped to you. You're free to let go, lose what you think you know. We're free enough.